Hi, everyone. My name is Sam Rainey. I'm a medical student at Nova Southeastern University. I'm making a video today to tell you about an awesome project a group of us have been working on the past week or so in an effort to increase the personal protective equipment supply here in Broward County and South Florida. You may have heard on the news or seen on Facebook undoubtedly that there's a personal protective equipment shortage all across the nation and that masks and respirators are in high demand. Well, in an effort to reduce the amount of respirators and masks that are being utilized, we've developed a do-it-yourself face shield. To tell you how this idea came to fruition, a friend named Amy, who is a medical student at George Washington University in Washington, D.C., has been doing this in response to D.C. and New York City's COVID fight. So thank you, Amy Tronier, for helping us get this project off the ground by providing us the instructions and the tips on how to improve assembly of these. We really appreciate your help. I'd like to take a moment to express our gratitude to all of the donors and supporters from our GoFundMe page. You made a huge difference in making this project possible. And not only that, we're going to be able to get these products to the front lines to address the response when it's at its peak. Because of you, we were able to hit our $1,000 goal in just under 2 days, which is incredible, and we were overwhelmed with the support. Since then, we've sent out 8 do-it-yourself mask making kits. So we'll be able to be making these face shields from home starting this week. So it's very incredible. And so thank you to all of our donors and supporters out there. After reaching out to various health organizations in Broward County, we identified this as a potential solution and a need for South Florida's COVID response. We'll be donating these to Broward Health Systems as well as the Broward Medical Response Unit. They serve as a repository for all personal protective equipment, and they distribute them to the first responders, hospitals and clinics, and nursing homes, anyone who has a bona fide need for this product. And it helps optimize the use to get them in the hands of who needs it the most. These face shields are beneficial to users in that it allows them to see while giving them eye protection, as well as covering their respirator or mask that they're wearing, preventing contamination from COVID. This in turn increases the lifespan of that respirator or mask, which is in short supply. So it's really a win-win for the user and the personal protective equipment shortage. You may be wondering to yourself, Sam, that face shield isn't going to last very long. Well, as an engineer, it's not designed to. It's designed to get involved in a time like this where you don't have access to more hardy pieces of equipment to protect yourself, but you do need something. So this does get the job done in that sort of situation. And now the moment you probably all have been waiting for, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our DIY process on how to make these face shields using some foam, staples, laminated sheets, where you can turn all of that into one of our face shields. The first thing that you need is some foam. This can be purchased at Amazon, Joann's, Michael's, and it's 1 inch thick. So what this will serve as a cushion across the front of the face shield and provide a little bit of separation from the forehead of the wearer to their PPE they're wearing underneath. The next item you're going to need to construct these is a plier stapler as well as the appropriate staples. They make sure they match. This will be helpful in securing the foam to the transparency film. The next item you'll need is 1 inch Coban tape. This will serve as the head strap for the face shield. Now, if you remember way back to your elementary school years, you may remember these transparency films. This is what your teacher used to write on with the overhead with. This is going to serve as the face shield itself to protect the user. It's 8.5 by 11. You can buy it at Staples, Walmart, Office Depot. Pretty much any office supply store should have these. You can get the black and white or the color printing. We found the black and white to be the cheapest. So prior to starting measuring out the foam, we ask that you spray down your work area. That way you can reduce the contamination of this PPE. Next, take out your foam and lay it out where you're free to measure it. Once again, this is a 1 inch thick by 24 inch wide by 72 inch long roll of foam. You may have to flip it so that way it doesn't roll up on you. Now it's important when you're cutting this that you always measure twice before you make one cut. So we've done a little bit of math and we found that with the 24-inch width, if you make your first line going all the way down about 1¼ inch, that way you'll have 3 different 7.5-inch. So here we are at the edge and we're gonna measure 1¼ inches with a marker. And we're gonna do this a few times because this is gonna be the first cut that we make in order to make sure we're using this foam to the maximum effect. So once again, 1¼ inches, just a few times down. Now that you've made the line going down this end of the foam, it's time to make your first cut. Using a box cutter or X-Acto blade, you can go down, make sure you're doing it on a hard surface. Do not do it on your grandmother's heirloom furniture. Your mother will thank me later for that. Or you can use scissors. It's a little more labor intensive, but it gets the job done nonetheless. Now that you've finished your cut, go ahead. You've probably noticed there's a little bit of not as pretty lines, but that's okay. As we used to say in the military, it's going to be good enough for government. We're just stapling these to make the face shield. Don't throw this away. This is worth at least 10 face shields, so we don't want to get rid of it. The next step, we're going to measure across at 7 3/4, and this will make 3 equal parts of the remaining foam. After we've marked these, we're then going to go down the foam at 1 inch. At every inch, make a line. So this is going to be like a giant checkerboard, and then it'll be a little labor intensive. All right, for the next step, we are going to be using the X-Acto blade to make 2 incisions on each piece of foam, about 1.5 inches in on each side. So if you look, you have your squiggly edge from where you cut and the factory edge. So with the factory edge going up and down on each side, fold about 1 inch in and take the X-Acto blade and push down and make a cut about midway through and all the way through the foam. This will allow the plier stapler to go through to attach to the transparent film. Flip over and repeat the same step on the side. Once again, do not use this on your grandmother's heirloom table. So now you can see you have 2 slits on each side midway through the foam. With the foam that you just cut, go ahead and take a single piece of the 8.5 by 11 transparency film with the 11-inch side running across and weave the end of the plier stapler through the hole you cut so that it lines up about halfway through. Then using the 11-inch side of the transparency film, do your best to kind of center this piece of transparency film. It's easier to hold the foam at the bottom as you pull it across. and make one staple. Go ahead and put the plier stapler about halfway through again, the foam, and re-slide the piece of transparency film on top and do another staple. You should now have a single piece of transparency film with two staples attached to the foam. And notice how the factory edge is going to be against the user's face, which will increase the comfort of wearing this. Up next, you're going to take your Coban, this is again 1 inch, and fold the end in on itself. And on one end, you're going to take your plier stapler and make one staple and another staple in an X fashion, using about 10 inches of Coban. Do your best to kind of eyeball and then make an incision. And as we did on the other side, go ahead and fold a little bit of the edge over onto itself. And this is where it gets kind of tricky. You're going to take it over to the other side and put it on the inside. So you have transparency and the Coban underneath. You'll notice that the edges have started to bend around, and that's okay. It'll actually cover the sides of the user's face a little more robustly. And then carefully using that same X pattern, use one staple and two staples so that the Coban looks like that. And you now have your face shield. Thank you so much for tuning in today and allowing us to share a little bit of information about our project with you. We're excited to get these face shields out into Broward County in an effort to fight this pandemic we're currently facing. I wish you all health, prosperity, and safety during these times. And please like and follow below, and feel free to leave a comment, or if you have any questions about how we did anything, we'll respond as soon as we can. Thank you again. Have a great day.